all my fellow Lebanese who are going through a very difficult crisis, this video is for you. And this video is going to be different than any other video of this channel. If you've seen some of my videos before, we share insights, tips, ideas, interviews to help you become better leaders. So if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. But all the different videos, whether it's insight on purpose, on hiring, on crisis management, are all things that I learned, that I tried, that are tested over the 20 years where I've been an entrepreneur, or the 10 years when I've been a mentor. But what Sara asked me to do today is something very hard, because she sent me a very nice message thanking me for the crisis management videos, saying that it's very helpful to her, but asking if we can do a video on the devaluation crisis that Lebanon is going through right now. And it's difficult because I don't have the answers, because we're all trying to find solutions. And what I can do is give you some of the learning of other people that have been through this, whether it's in Egypt or Asia, or some of the things that we're doing. This is what we're actually trying to do to cope with the crisis and to survive this very, very difficult time for Lebanon. So Sara, I hope this will be helpful to you. A small background for those of you who are not living with us in Lebanon right now. Lebanon has been going through the toughest crisis of its history, probably. Since October 17th, we've had a revolution that only triggered things that were bound to happen. We have the banking system that is almost collapsing with capital control. We don't have access to the funds we have in the bank. We have devaluation. The dollar has been pegged to the Lebanese pound for more than 15 years at 1,500. We're at 8,500 today, and it's still at the beginning. We have no idea where we're heading. It's like a snowball, and it's increasing every single day. And finally, Corona that didn't help things as well. So these are the 5 points that I've learned so far, and I hope it will help. So the first one, and this is something I heard a lot from my friends from Egypt, Asia, or different countries that have been through very tough devaluation, and their first recommendation was to accept it. And this is very hard, because we're positive, we're always trying to hope that it will stop, we're always trying to hope that it will go back, that the central bank is going to give us subsidized dollars to buy raw material, that we're going to get a loan, or whatever promises we have. But what they told me is to accept the fact that it's here, accept the fact that it's not going back, it's not going to end tomorrow, it's a very, very long road ahead. Accept your feelings, like accept being hurt, being frustrated, being angry, being disappointed. There are so many feelings, and throughout the day we can have 25 different feelings, from positive to negative, within one day. But what they told me is, first, don't let them in. Get all this frustrating out. Accept the fact that sometimes you're going to be angry, and accept the fact that your life as you know it is gone, that your lifestyle is going to be divided by 10, that every single thing that was the norm is not the norm anymore. And the fastest we accept this, the faster we can start acting and taking actions to be able to cope with the current crisis. So this was point number 1. Acting means taking a lot of difficult decisions. So for example, for pricing, some people just have to work on replacement cost, because they are buying a product and selling it to the end consumer, and here they have to review their whole product mix to see if the things that they used to import still make sense with the current purchasing power that has been going down the drain. In our case, for example, since when in retail, we have a lot of part of our costs that affect the total price. So what we've been trying to do is to decrease every single cost we can think of, to be able to work on 2 things. First, not to increase the prices at the same pace as the dollar is going, and second, to try to keep as many team members as possible. So if you remember in the first video, we talked about essential, non-essential. Okay, we stopped the non-essential, and then now we went back to what is essential and went back to the non-essential of the essential, because some things that were essential 3 months ago are not essential anymore. And we went into the tiny details. No more color printing. We're using the paper inside out. We're counting every single thing that is being used. We're reducing all kind of spaces, office space, store space, anything you can think of. We're trying to reduce to be able to compensate a little for the increase in raw material costs, since we import almost 90% of our product. There's no sugar or chocolate in Lebanon that is produced in Lebanon, so we still have to import to keep the quality of the product. But on the other hand, we cannot double or triple or quadruple our prices every day. So this is the first tip. Try to reduce every single cost you can, so that you don't have to automatically increase your prices as fast as the dollar is increasing. And today is not about market share anymore. It's about survival. So things that we used to do before to gain market share, to open stores, to go to cities, to make sure that we are the biggest chain in Lebanon is not a priority anymore. Today is all about survival. It's better to have 15 locations that are at least covering their expenses than to have 40 locations that are struggling just to keep some market share. So this is very important. It's not about market share anymore today. It's about survival, and it's about gross margin and profitability. The third thing is to still grow and still fight and still find opportunities. And we have few opportunities that we're working on. There's a partnership we're supposed to finalize. This is the kind of partnership that I never thought about before, and it's because of the crisis that we're partnering with a brand to keep some stores open. And I think it will be amazing for our customers. It will add a lot of value for our customers. I think it will be helpful for our brand and for their brand. So try to find opportunities, try to think outside the box, because in every crisis there are still opportunities. Again, we're shrinking, we're not growing. I'm not saying that this is growth in the big sense of the term, but it's trying to find alternative to sales, trying to find ways to keep some stores going. Another kind of growth is exporting services, and we're trying to find some consultancy services in the Gulf, because today with our salaries we become pretty interesting for Gulf companies, and you have so many amazing skills in Lebanon. We have some of the most brilliant minds that are available here, so using those minds, exporting our services is a way to grow as well. And the third thing is this channel. This channel started in the middle of COVID-19. I've been mentoring for 10 years now, and I never had the time or never thought of doing videos like this one. And the response of people like Sara, like Rana, like Karim, like Steve, I've been receiving so many email and messages from people thanking me and telling me that this has been helpful. And the fact that it's been helpful for someone is bringing me so much joy. So even if my business is shrinking, I'm still trying to find ways to grow the business in some ways, or to grow even as a person, to learn. I've never attended so many Zoom calls, so many webinars. I'm trying to grow, to learn, and use this time and use this crisis to become a better leader and a better person. The fourth point I wanted to share with you is that if you tried everything, because Sara was telling me that she's been trying to do so many things to keep her customers, to keep the jobs of her company, but at the end of the day, she might have to close at some point. And if you tried everything, if you shrink, if you work on the essential, non-essential, cash flow, profitability, trying to think outside the box, and if at the end of the day you have to close, you just close. Closing doesn't define who you are. It's heartbreaking, it's extremely difficult, it's extremely challenging to see something that you've been building for so many years like just disappear. But if you have to do it, you just have to do it, and this does not define who you are. And the last point, you're gonna be okay. It's gonna be tough, definitely. Our lifestyle is gonna be divided by 100, absolutely. We're gonna have to take tough decisions. We have a lot of very difficult moments that are coming. Yes, like every single thing you can think of and every negative thought you might have might happen. But at the end of the day, you're gonna be okay. Sara, you're gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. Every single person watching this video is gonna be okay. Because if you're watching this video, this means that you're a fighter. This means that you're trying. This means that you have it in you to give it all it takes. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, that's fine. Even if you will end up in a different country, in a different business, in a different setup, in a different environment, in a different social class, whatever the situation, whatever the future holds, you're gonna be okay. And keep this in mind. I have a saying that my grandmother used to say, at the end, everything is gonna be okay. If it's not okay, it's not the end. So Sara, thank you for making me do this video. It's been extremely difficult for me to do because we're still in the middle of the storm and we don't have the answer. I don't know where we're gonna be in a month, a year, or 5 years from now. So I'm sending you plenty of hugs and positive vibes, and I hope to see you next week.